fellow Cortanas, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Copivian. Today, I am predicting WrestleMania 42, WWE's premier live event, the granddaddy of them all, this weekend, April 18th and 19th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is going to be an interesting WrestleMania because the build-up for this Mania, obviously, as you all know, for those of you who are wrestling fans or just follow it in general, the build-up for this year's Mania has been meh at best. It definitely hasn't been the worst build-up, I don't think, but it's also not been the best build-up as well. So, let's get into night one here in this video for my predictions of WrestleMania 42. I will do another video doing my predictions on night 2, which is April 19th, of course. So, let's get into this. First up, we're going to do the unsanctioned match between Drew McIntyre and the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. This is going to be a fun match, and it's going to be one of those matches that I think kind of is a sleeper to a degree, because this is going to be one of those matches that has had a story told in length, but at the same time, a lot of people are kind of not with it anymore, it feels like, and I think a lot of that has to do with the rest of the build going into Mania. Certain matches we got excited for in other ways, in other matches. It's gonna be a brutal match. I just have that feeling. And I wouldn't be surprised if there might be some blood in this matchup. I really wouldn't. Hopefully everybody comes out of it safe and okay, but at the same time, hopefully they can make it look as brutal as possible. Because these two, this rivalry has been something that's had its twists and turns and going off in different directions and branching off in different ways, even going as far as including the WWE Championship at one point in time over the course of the WrestleMania build-up. Who I think's going to come out the victor in this one? You know, it's a tough pick because both of these guys deserve to win at WrestleMania this year. They really do. But I think that the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, is going to come out the victor in this one, while Drew McIntyre shows us all who the real Samoan Werewolf is. And the real Samoan Werewolf is going to be a brutal, just more than we've ever seen him. There's going to be weapons involved. There's going to be chaos. There's going to be craziness. But there's going to be ultimately a very memorable match in the end. I just have a feeling that this one is going to be one of the sleepers at this year's WrestleMania. Next one I'm going to do is the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legends, the tag team, the women's tag team champions, going into a fatal four-way tag team match for the championships against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, and the Bella Twins. This match kind of snuck in out of nowhere, and it's kind of one of those matches where it's kind of making me fall back to WrestleMania 39 a little bit when they had these showcase tag team matches. Has all the makings. It has all the pieces in there to really be something that is going to be amazing to watch and is going to be amazing to see. But I just don't think that it's going to be like the be-all, end-all at this year's WrestleMania. That being said, that does not mean that this matchup is going to be a poor match by any stretch of the imagination. And I think that I actually think that this is where Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss's frenemy situation explodes, and I think that they might go their separate ways at WrestleMania. I don't know. For some reason, it just feels like this match could have a big twist come at the end or near the end, and it could be between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, or maybe Lyra turns on Bayley. That's been a big fan theory for a long time that at some point Lyra is going to turn on Bayley, and maybe they've been waiting for WrestleMania 42 to do that at. Either way, I don't see the Irresistible Forces losing this match. It's a fatal four-way tag team match for the women's tag team championships, but I still don't see the Irresistible Forces losing. I think they still got a little bit more in the tank to go on their championship run. They're a great tag team. Nia Jax and Lash Legend are working tremendously together. They have the right charisma to go even further, maybe to SummerSlam even, where they would lose the championships. But I don't think it now is the time for the Irresistible Forces to be losing their titles at this event. Yes, it's the biggest event of the year, but that just means it's one feather in the cap of Lash Legend and Nia Jax to maybe go on more towards SummerSlam where they would lose it against who? I don't know. We'll have to wait to see if that comes to fruition at all. But that's why these prediction videos are so fun to make. So we'll see if I have kind of a in on that or not, but I highly doubt it because I have no ins anywhere. So we're gonna stick with the tag team theme here and go to the 6-man tag team match with the Vision, Logan Paul and Austin Theory with I Show Speed, okay, as well as Paul Heyman, versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Yeah. You know, when the inclusion of I Show Speed came in with this matchup not that long ago, I was less than thrilled. I really was. I mean, to be honest, you know, all of this celebrity getting into WrestleMania and everything this year, it's hindering it more than it's helping it. It really is, because they're literally throwing up these celebrities as if it's what is gonna make WrestleMania 42 better, and I don't see how that makes it better, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of hope for this match being really all that good, to be honest with you. But I do somehow see Danhausen getting into the mix because of the whole curse he put on I Show Speed, which leads me to the very hard prediction that I have to actually make here. I see the Vision winning this match with I Show Speed getting the victory. I just, you know, breaking the curse or the curse ending naturally. Somehow I just see I Show Speed coming out with the victory, helping his team to win. It's gonna be one of those weird matches. The way that this matchup has been falling into place, it's just one of those matches with the weird buildup that when the match finally happens, it's gonna be just one of those strange out there matches that's like, why and how? Why are you guys doing this? And then it's gonna end up even more with even more question marks on it when I Show Speed gets the random pin out of nowhere. Not a roll up, probably gets knocked out in the end and falls on top of, let's say, LA Knight, just because. Just because that's the way it's going for Knight right now. Strange build up. going to be a strange match, I have a feeling, and the Vision with Ice Show Speed and Paul Heyman pick up the victory. All right, so we've hit one championship match. Let's hit another right here. Let's go into it with the Women's Intercontinental Championship with champion AJ Lee defending against her big-time rival, big-time Becky Lynch, the man. This is going to be a very fun match. It's got to be. I think it's going to probably more than likely be at least for now, the end of this rivalry until they pick it up probably later on down the road somewhere. But this match is going to be interesting, and it's going to tie the story together really well, I think, in a way that we haven't seen for a long time. And I think that AJ Lee has the edge on Becky Lynch right now, but somehow I just feel like Becky Lynch is going to come out the victor in this one. AJ Lee has gotten over on her, I believe the last 2 times they faced off in the mixed tag team match. And then again when AJ defeated her for the Women's Intercontinental Championship at Elimination Chamber. This time, I think, is where Becky Lynch finally gets one over on AJ Lee. Will it really be the end? Probably not. Now that I think about it a little bit more, maybe this goes into Backlash, into maybe a Extreme Rules match or No Holds Barred or something that, ups the ante just that much more for the true match end, the true story end of this rivalry, at least at this point in time. But Becky Lynch comes out the victor in this one. A lot of love for AJ Lee. I think she should hold on to the championship for a lot longer because, a month reigns just doesn't suit AJ Lee at this point in her career. I would love to see her continue on, but somehow I just feel that Becky is going to come out the victor in this one. All right, so we just did Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee, so let's go into the Seth Rollins versus Gunther match, which is actually going to be a much better matchup than I think people are giving it credit for, with as short as build as it's had. These are 2 masters in their classes of wrestling. What Gunther has to offer to Seth Rollins' style is going to be something that just gels. The chemistry is going to be there when these 2 lock up. It's got to be there. And I think this one could possibly be the best match on WrestleMania weekend. And it's going to be one of those matches where either Gunther somehow takes the lead in this matchup with his power game, or it's one of the more typical matches where Gunther gets his butt handed to him for most of the match and then comes out beating Seth Rollins. But I think it's going to be a lot more deadlocked, a lot more even than people are giving it credit for. But I think that all in all, this matchup is going to be there's going to be a lot of technical offense and a lot of power defense. And it's going to be one of those matches that people look back on and say, the buildup was really short and very abrupt due to injuries caused or that had occurred over the course of the WrestleMania buildup. But all in all, that match is one of the best matches that WrestleMania has ever had. And Seth Rollins never disappoints at WrestleMania. And Gunther is building a WrestleMania resume that is going to match some of the greats of all time. But all in all, who I think is going to come out the victor in this one, I believe it's going to be Seth freaking Rollins. Obviously, the rivalry with the Vision's still going to be there hanging over Seth's head, so obviously, if anybody does interfere in this match, it's going to be somebody from the Vision, if not Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, depending on if any of them are cleared for any kind of action to interfere into this match. But Seth Rollins gets the win. Okay, we've come down to the Women's World Championship match between champion Stephanie Vaquer and challenger Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan got a nasty bump on her head, but I think from everything I've seen, she's gonna be at WrestleMania this weekend and gonna be in a heated match with Stephanie Vaquer. Um, a lot of people are looking for interference in this match as well, or a turn from either Raquel Rodriguez or Roxanne Perez, maybe. I think Roxanne Perez, if she does turn, it'll be more in the terms of Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio match. That one would make more sense. This one would make more sense for Raquel Rodriguez to somehow get involved and interfere. Obviously, I doubt that's going to happen. When Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble, and then she challenged Stephanie Vaquer, I was like, okay, that's an interesting matchup. That's a really, yeah, I could see that happening. I could see how that could possibly be one of the greatest women, not just women's matches of all time, but just pure WrestleMania matches of all time. This one's going to be a lot of fun. It's just going to be pure storytelling through and through. And I mean, when you got Stephanie Vaquer in there against anybody, it's going to be a great match, especially when you have Liv Morgan. I said about Seth Rollins and Gunther that they're two of their master in their in the class of wrestling. These two women are two of the masters in the class of wrestling. Tip top of the mountain, pretty much. I think Stephanie Vaquer retains at WrestleMania 42 this year. Not time yet for Liv Morgan. She's going to have to branch off, and I think the end of the Judgment Day starts at this year's WrestleMania with someone turning on Liv. We'll see, though. Who knows? We've come down to it. The main event of night one on April 18th of WrestleMania 42. Here we go. The WWE Championship match between champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, versus challenger, the Viper, Randy Orton. And, of course, if Orton loses, Pat McAfee will no longer, or he will leave the business of professional wrestling for good, which would not be a bad thing, but it's not going to happen. I'll tell you why. Honestly, I was so thrilled. I was really excited. I really was when Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton were announced to be going at it for the WWE Championship. Just the history between those two. I'm not alone in this. I know this to be a fact. I know that a lot of you, as fans of not only WWE but wrestling in general, really wanted to see Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton ever since Cody came back to the WWE at WrestleMania 38. Well, here we are, and it definitely didn't go down like we expected it to. I was hoping that, if anybody else was going to get involved in this storyline, it'd be somebody that made sense. And they did a complete 360 into hell. And it killed a lot of the momentum as soon as Pat McAfee was the one revealed to be the one on the other side of the phone. Although, there's still a part of me that thinks there's a swerve happening, and at WrestleMania, the actual person on the other side of the phone is going to appear. Then there's the other part of my brain that's going, this is really where we're headed. Really? You had all this momentum for this matchup between Cody Rhodes and Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, and you're going to tank it all by having this kind of stipulation when the American Nightmare and the Viper sell it on their own? Okay, guys. Bad decision. Very bad decision. Not just one thumb, two thumbs down. I'm not against saying it either. This was a piss poor decision. However, since this is the way we're going, I think that, of course, because I don't see Randy losing this match in any way possible, I think that Randy's going to win, and it's not going to be in the form that the 2009 Viper would have taken. Or I guess he would have taken it because it would have interference back then with Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, where it was very evident and very prominent back in those days of him trying to defend the championship or even obtain the championship from Triple H back then. Even though it's going to be a very good match just between Cody and Randy, the McAfee and Jelly Roll side is going to come into effect more than likely to decide the match, but I think it's going to be Randy in the end who comes out the victor. Unfortunate the way they went with the build-up for this WrestleMania, especially with the WWE Championship match. Could have been done a lot better. Could have been utilized a lot better, in my opinion. But hey, I'm just a fan, and apparently my opinion doesn't matter. So we're going to just move on and do what we do as fans and watch and try and enjoy as much as we can for this year's WrestleMania, which could be one of the WrestleManias that has a very bad build-up, but is one of the best WrestleManias of all time. So we'll have to wait and see. Of course, my prediction video for Night 2 will be coming out directly after this one gets uploaded. So I thank you all so much for watching this prediction video for Night 1 of WrestleMania 42. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about not only who you think could win these matches on Night 1, but also what you think of not only the build-up, but this year's WrestleMania in general. And of course, as always, I will be reviewing this event sometime next week, sooner rather than later. So, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I always love hearing from you guys. As always, imagine your dream, create your happiness, and live your life on the edge. And I will see you in that next episode. See ya.